Live from Studio 1396, Columbus, Ohio, broadcasting over 100,000 watts of all-American electricity. I'm AJ England, and this is Late Lap. Welcome back. Folks, I'm so glad to see that we're back for 5 straight shows. You know, some people, they said, AJ, quit. Nobody wants to watch your dumb show. Other people said, AJ, we can't get enough of your great show. And the truth is, I'm really proud of those on both sides of that fence because we shouldn't be lying to each other. And part of me really believes that those of you who said you were not interested, you weren't. And those of you who said you were as well. So I want more honesty in this world. I really do. I always cut it straight. I think of some long-winded conversations I've had with my friends and family over the years. And I always say I don't really care if I upset you, but it's never the goal. You know, and I sure hope I don't. But if I do, you can go to bed rested. One thing knowing in your head that old AJ never lied to you because I didn't. But we've got a great show. I see Dujanay Bland says he's here. Hopefully we got some more here in the coming minutes and weeks. I want to talk about a couple of things on these live broadcasts. Not so many guests are tuning in, and that's fine. That's fine. But on our reels and on our short clips that we're uploading about 90-second videos into clips on the page. We had over 25,000 views last week, just last week. And I couldn't be more appreciative of each and every one of you who tuned in. And now we have 100 subscribers. Just moments ago, we crossed 100. And look, it's growing. That's a lot. I'm not fooling myself. There's people out there with hundreds of millions, but that is a lot. And I've been doing social media in many ways for a living for a long time. And on other social medias, you hit like, you hit follow, you hit the heart button. And, it just means that it's like patting somebody on the back. But when you hit the subscribe button on YouTube, you are telling an application that you probably see several times a day, hey, I want to see those videos often. And so it's really special. Almost everybody has a YouTube channel. It's what do you do with it? Do you just watch videos? Do you subscribe? Well, 100 of you have. 25,000 of you have watched these videos. It really means a lot to me. So thank you. And we're going to continue from there into the character that is AJ. In NASCAR, Kyle Larson turned Kansas Speedway into his personal playground, leading 221 of 267 laps to clinch his third Cup Series win of the season. That's not just dominance, it's a masterclass in left turns. Larson's performance was so commanding, even the pace car considered taking notes. Meanwhile, the all-star race vote is heating up. Top contenders include Shane Van Gisbergen, Noah Gragson, and Bubba Wallace. It's like high school prom all over again, but with more horsepower and fewer awkward dances. Formula One highlights: McLaren's Oscar Piastri is on a roll, securing his third consecutive victory in Miami. Rumor has it McLaren's secret weapon is an innovative brake drum design using phase change materials, giving them a thermal edge. It's like they found the cheat code in a racing video game. However, not all smooth sailing. Red Bull is facing challenges. With only one win in 6 races, team principal Christian Horner is under scrutiny. But Red Bull denies any plans to sack him. It's a high-stakes game of musical chairs, and the music's getting tense. In IndyCar, Kyle Larson is pulling double duty, preparing for both the Indianapolis 500 and the Coca-Cola 600. Talk about endurance. He's not just racing cars, he's racing calendars. US Andretti Global announced Siemens as the primary partner for Kyle Kirkwood's number 27 Honda at the Indy 500. It's a partnership that promises precision engineering and, hopefully, podium finishes. Formula E's Tokyo E-Prix is making waves, not just on the track, but in sustainability. The event is powered entirely by renewable energy, showcasing that speed and eco-consciousness can go hand in hand. And in a cinematic twist, Brad Pitt is set to star in the upcoming film F1, portraying a retired driver making a comeback. With real F1 tracks and drivers involved, it's the closest Hollywood has come to capturing the thrill of the race. So whether you're a fan of burning rubber or just enjoy the smell of high-octane drama in the morning, the racing world has something for everyone. Buckle up. It's going to be a thrilling ride. Ladies and gentlemen, motorsport maniac, late night loafers, and Kansas Speedway survivors, welcome back to the Late Lap, the only show where the engines run hot and the takes run hotter, and our scripts are written with more grip than a good year on fresh pavement. Tonight, we are talking about a performance so dominant it made the rest of the field look like they were on a Sunday drive to church. Kyle Larson at Kansas, folks. This wasn't just a win. This was a clinic. This wasn't a race. It was a NASCAR seminar taught by Professor Young Money himself. And the syllabus? It read, how to lead 221 laps, get paid, and still be home in time for dinner. Larson didn't just lead most laps of the race. He led nearly the entire state of Kansas. He led 82.8% of the laps. That's 221 out of 267. And at that point, the pace car was just begging him for an autograph. I mean, if this was baseball, he threw a complete game shutout and hit 3 home runs. If this was football, he'd be throwing touchdowns, running them in, and calling the plays from the booth at the same time. And the rest of the field, bless them, they were participating. They were out there like, hey, we showed up too. Christopher Bell came in second, which is impressive until you realize he only led 3 laps and still had to get his teeth kicked in by a Chevy that looked possessed. Bell's crew chief probably just hugged him at the end and said, "It's okay, buddy. You weren't driving against any mortals today." Now, I don't want to say the rest of the drivers gave up, but by lap 150, I swear to God I saw Chase Briscoe trying to get a quote for AAA roadside assistance just in case. And speaking of Briscoe, man, he did do well. He came all the way from 19th to 4th. That's like showing up late to a bar fight and still leaving with the trophy model girl. Respect. No laps led, but a hard gas move, no brakes, and that Bass Pro Shops Toyota hunted positions like it was opening day of deer season. Meanwhile, Josh Berry, I don't know what he had for breakfast, but for someone, can they please check on the motorcraft car? Because it might have magnets. No, he didn't have anything for Larson, but he did start 38th, which was last this week, and he came home 6th. If that isn't NASCAR's version of the American dream, I don't know what is. He passed more cars than the dealership on President's Day. 103 green flag passes. That's not racing. That's part-time Ubering. And let's talk about the race as a whole. Are you ready for this? 7 cautions total, and remember, 2 were for stage breaks. 1 was for debris, and a total of just 7 total with 37 laps. A beautifully crafted race. Want to go to the comments here. Dugenet saying he was a dog walking the field, and he was. He was that. He was hauling the mail. He was kicking ass and taking names. He was doing all of the analogies we've got and then some. 7 cautions total. That probably allowed him to maintain that distant lead. 13.9% of the race was under yellow, which means 86% of the time they were actually doing that thing we like to call racing. You know, racing. No demolition derbies, no 5 wide stack-ups into turn 1. No wheel-flying chaos that looks like a Michael Bay deleted scene. It was clean, it was mean, and it was damn near serene. NASCAR, are you feeling okay? Because the kind of green flag discipline belongs in a self-help book. And get this, 3,534 green flag passes. That's 15.4 per lap. They were passing all day. At one point, it looked like a 200-mile-an-hour game of musical chairs, and by the end, half the spotters had popped at least one blood vessel. One of them even said he was holding up a sign that just said "Give up," a big old white banner, "I give up." But the real takeaway? Kyle Larson. Oh man, he's the real deal, isn't he? And he had the fastest lap 66 times. He ran 100% of the race inside the top 15, including green flag pit stops. It's like saying Michael Jordan stayed somewhere between on fire and levitating. And yet, despite the dominance, there was drama. Chase Elliott led for 29 laps. That's his Chevy Hendrick teammate. And he looked like he might have something, but then he faded all the way back to 15th, like a college freshman's GPA. Carson Hocevar led 4 laps, and I swear, half the crowd stood up like they were watching a kitten take its first steps. He's doing it! He's doing it! And we'll talk more about Carson later, and I'm not talking about Johnny. Then Kyle Larson passed him and reminded us all why we can't have nice things. Brad Keselowski? Oh, Brad. He started 36th and finished 37th. That's not a race. That's a round trip. That man went from nowhere to know-how with a pit stop in. Never gonna be, maybe Denny Hamlin, out with drivetrain issues. I guess karma has gears. And in true NASCAR fashion, write it down, folks, Cody Ware finished 30th. Just 5 laps down. Somewhere a dog barked and Rick Ware sponsorship proposal was approved. But the moment of the night, that sweet burn it down victory lap by Larson, fans screaming, confetti flying, and his crew looking like they just won the lottery and beat Thanos. Congrats to Kyle Larson, the Kansas King, the Highline hero, the man who reminded 37 other drivers that domination does in fact sell tickets. Hell, someone call Hollywood. The script's already written. Stick around. We've got more tonight. That's what he said. It was great. And then what they do, they went on a media tour, and all they did was talk Kyle. And you know what else was great about Kansas? We mentioned that kid Carson. It wasn't just the Cup guys out there putting on a show. No. Truck Series raced up the night before like that younger sibling who quietly aces the test before Big Brother gets a scholarship. Hocevar, ladies and gentlemen, the mulleted menace, the man with the most chaotic energy per horsepower in NASCAR. He led 75 of the 134 laps in the Heart of America 200. That's the truck race, and brought home a win like he owned the joint. That's right, same track, 24 hours earlier. He went full send on Saturday night, then came back Sunday to run Cup, finishing 26. Who's counting when you already dropped a dub in prime time, though? And if that wasn't enough to make you feel like, time is a flat circle, another NASCAR legend, William Byron, at least one that will be, he finished second in that truck race. Because why not? He's driving for Hendrick as well. Apparently when Larson's not winning Cup headlines, Byron just sets moonlight in a Chevrolet Silverado like, hey, anybody need a runner-up finish while I wait for Sunday? Now I know what you're thinking. 1,618 green flag passes in the truck race. That's 16 per flag lap, which means at any given moment, someone was losing a position, gaining a position, or flying through the grass, wondering how the hell Frankie Muniz of the TV fame led a lap. And that did happen. Agent Cody Banks was your race leader for 1 lap. For 1 lap. And if that's not the most NASCAR thing I've ever said on this show, I'll retire and open up a vape shop. Respect where it's due. The kids went at it, the veterans held their own, and Kansas, you gave us a clean Cup race and chaotic truck action all in the same weekend. And that's what we call range, baby. You had trucks on Saturday, Hocevar doing Hocevar things, and on Friday, Brendan Queen. You all know him as another name, don't you? He took that ARCA win in the Tide 150, led 72 laps, and made it look small as well. A fresh Tide load. And shout out to Amanda Busick, who nailed the victory lane interview like she's been doing this since Brendan was in a quarter midget. Polished. Professionally poised. Give that woman more camera time. When we started this show, we promised a whole lot of music. And music we've got. And we wanted to play this the other night, but we had a little bit of some difficulties, if you will. I think that's what the cool kids call it. It's an absolute classic from 1967, ladies and gentlemen. I welcome you to enjoy Aretha Franklin, Respect. Well, we are back here on Late Lap. You know, I almost called it another name, and that wouldn't have been very fun. Now would it? You don't want to ever call something the wrong name. You just want to kind of roll with it. You want to roll with it. And instead, I call myself out on my mistakes. And I'm okay with that. We talked about Kansas. We talked about this. We talked about that. Well, get your playlist loaded and your vacation days locked in, because the Hot Rod Power Tour is less than 1 month away, and it's about to turn the Midwest into one big, beautiful burnout. This isn't just a car show. No, this is America's largest traveling circus of chrome and combustion. Over 6,000 rolling tributes to torque and nostalgia winding across 5 cities in 5 days. We're talking 1,000 miles of driving, drag racing, autocross, rock music, fried food, and horsepower as far as the eyes can see. The man himself, Tim Allen, would have barked just to talk about it. And it all kicks off on June 9th at Lucas Oil Raceway in Indianapolis, which, yes, includes drag racing and autocross right out the gate. Then it's on to Joliet, Fort Wayne, Monroe, and the big finale at America's Racetrack, Summit Motorsports Park in Norwalk, Ohio. By the time it's over, you'll need new tires, a new playlist, and probably a chiropractor. Chevrolet Performance is back to headline the Mechanical Mardi Gras, and Haggerty Insurance will help steer the ship. And listen, if you've never been, picture this: C10s and Camaros in one lane, rat rods and pro touring builds in the other. A fleet of vintage muscle, modern monsters, and probably at least 3 people trying to drive the whole thing in a lawn chair welded to a jet ski frame. And here's the kicker. Spectators? free. Yeah, free to walk the show, drool on chrome, talk gear ratios with stranger, and maybe even convince your partner that a 72 Chevelle is practically a daily driver. This ain't a car show. It's a pilgrimage, a 5-day, 5-city, fuel-burning therapy session for every gearhead who's ever rebuilt a carb in the garage and said, one day, I'm going to hit the road with 6,000 of my closest friends. Well, my friends, that day is June 9th. Register, pack your cooler, clean the windshield, and if you see a cloud of tire smoke on the horizon next month, that's not trouble, that's tradition. That's the Hot Rod Power Tour. See you out there. Bring sunscreen and maybe bail money. Woo! This is my favorite one right here. All right, let's talk about next gen oil from Valvoline. Folks, for years I have told you that Valvoline is the only place I will get my oil, whether it's buying it at your local dealer, whether it's, getting it done at the Quick Lube, it doesn't matter. You just got to make sure you're taking care of yourself. And let's talk about it. Not the stuff you try wings on, not that kind of oil, but the lifeblood of your engine. And no one's engineering that bloodline quite like Valvoline, who just leveled up again with the launch of their new GF7 motor oils. Sounds like a new model of the Terminator, right? But no, it's the next-gen motor oil. Standard just dropped by the ILSAC, and Valvoline's already ahead of the curve. In fact, their GF6 synthetic blends were already so good, they basically woke up this morning and said, oh, you're updating the rules. We've been living in the future for 3 years. We're talking oils that protect your engine from wear, friction, heat, and sludge better than ever before. Their synthetic tech ran a single engine over 500,000 miles without replacing a single critical part. 500,000 miles. That's like driving to the moon and back twice. And a Corolla that refuses to quit. And this is not a paid ad. This is a true endorsement. I have proudly used Valvoline products for years, including going 27,000 miles in my daily driver on one oil change. No oil compares to the synthetic lineup from Valvoline. Mark my words, mechanics say I'm crazy. I might be that, but I'm not wrong. And here's what makes this cooler than your average oil change aisle. Valvoline's the only major lubricant brand with its own engine lab. It's located in Ashland, Kentucky, meaning they don't follow standards, they set them. GF7 isn't a catch-up game for them, it's their home turf. Look for the new API Starburst and Shield on the bottles. Those are the signs this oil isn't just compliant, it's combat zone ready for the modern engine war zone. It's turbocharged, check. Stop and start, check. And pushing 200,000 miles and still begging for more, double check. So whether you're keeping that daily driver alive or you're just like knowing your oil was born in a lab that treats engines like royalty, GF7 from Valvoline is kind of an upgrade that makes the road a little smoother and your engine a lot stronger. GF7, because even oil deserves to evolve. This is where, if it was a paid endorsement, I would hold a bottle. And look, I'm not just saying this because it sounds slick. Valvoline, it's the only car I put in my oil, period. It's the only, I wrote that. It's the only car I put in my oil. It's the only oil I put in my car, period. If I trust a 3,000-pound machine to keep me moving every day and all over the country, I'm going with the brand that helped define modern motor oil, not one trying to catch up. Now, here's what I will say. That was a 3-minute rant, and you guys, if you've never met me, you know who I must have worked for to do a sponsor plug that way without even getting paid for it, don't you? Nothing quite like the great power of Valvoline. And moving on today, we have Spider-Man turning 50, and I'm not talking about Peter Parker. We are talking about Elio Castroneves, the Dancing with the Stars winner, the 4-time Indianapolis 500 winner, and the driver for Meyer Shank Racing, both in IMSA and in the IndyCar Series. 5-0. Half a century of life. and he's still climbing into a race car like it's recess at elementary school. Just hours before the Sunseer Grand Prix, his team surprised him with a birthday bash, and for once, Elio, Mr. Charm himself, he got a little emotional. A rare moment for a guy who spent more time on the front row at Indy than most people spend in traffic. And now he's chasing a moment that could make motorsports history echo like never before. A fifth Indianapolis 500. No one's done it. Not Foyt, not Unser, not Mears. But Elio, he's rolling into his 25th Indy 500 on the 25th of the 5th month. And his 5th start with Meyer Shank Racing after 20 with Team Penske. You can't script this stuff. In the comments here, it says, Dave W., I'm old enough to remember when he was still Elio Castro Neves. He started on the... I'm not going to touch that one. He started on May 25th before 3 times. Twice he finished second, once fourth. Added up, he's literally spent half his life chasing this run race. If Karma's a race fan, she's holding a pit board and it just says, this is the one. And don't let the candles on the cake fool you. Elio clocked the 6th fastest lap on the Indy 500 Open test, a full leap from last year's P25. Did you catch that? The man's been training. He's been training like this, and he's been training like this to shave time off of Father Time's lap. Let's be honest, it's the sport that rewards heart, prep, and just enough magic to believe in fate. Then comes May 25th. We might all witness Elio Castroneves become the only man to ever hold 5 baby Borgs. Because some drivers win, some drivers inspire, but only a few dance into legendhood. Elio Castroneves, happy birthday to the man who once told me he has one goal. That's inevitably to race in the Daytona 500. And we've got a little bit more in the open wheel community. Would you look at that? Alex Palou just keeps stacking wins like he's playing motorsports Jenga. And forget how to lose, by the way. He has 3 wins in 5 starts. He didn't even need the fastest car to do it. Now he has 4 in 6 starts. He just needed the cleanest line, the sharpest strategy, and a steering wheel that responds to ambition. Let's not bury the real sizzle on Saturday's stats, though. Columbus, Ohio's own Graham Rahal was on fire, and he led 49 out of 85 laps. Not a cameo. That's a main character performance. And the whole Rahal Lanigan Letterman team. They were hotter than a muffler in June. They swept the top 3 final practice and put the paddock on notice. Indy's coming, and we brought reinforcements. Palou may have taken the win. He may be the hot driver right now. But Graham's still in the story. He's been pissed off since Barber. Those are his words, not mine. And he channeled that frustration like a man with something to prove. The man led the most laps, outdrove a champion's field, and looked every bit of the guy peaking at the perfect time. Let's not forget the next stop is the big one, that Indianapolis 500. You don't want to see a Rahal team this dialed in, this motivated, and this pissed unless you're wearing a Fifth Third Fire suit or t-shirt. Graham may not have won the battle, but don't blink. He's warming up for a big-time war over at the Brickyard. And a big one here in the NHRA. Chicago's own Chris King is back in the seat and ready to light up the Route 66 Raceway for the 25th Gerber Collision and Glass NHRA Nationals, presented by Peak. But this one's extra meaningful. Not only is it his 2025 Funny Car debut, it's also a weekend where family comes first. King will be making Friday and Saturday count before stepping away Sunday to attend his son Shane's college graduation. With new parts, a fresh trailer, and a promotion to lieutenant in the Chicago Fire Department under his belt, King's balancing the firehouse and the funny car dream with signature grit. He's got 4 qualifying runs to make the hometown crowd proud, and he wouldn't miss the start for anything. Call it heart, call it hustle, call it one hell of a way to kick off the season. More in the straight line world, of course. You know, we do have fast, you have wild, you want street cars that hit harder than some pro mods, then get off your butt and go to Route 66 because Peak Streetcar Shootout, presented by the magazine, is back for the third year in a row. And this time, it's part of the 25th anniversary celebration of the NHRA Peak Nationals. This isn't just an exhibition, it's full throttle, drag and drive warzone, featuring the fastest legit street cars on Earth. We're talking about Alex Taylor. We all love Alex, the Motor Trend star who built a 6-second, 200-mile-an-hour 55 Chevy with her own hands. We're talking Tom Bailey, the man behind 6-second 2.0, a 4,000 horsepower Camaro that's arguably the quickest real street car in the world. And of course, there's Bryant Goldstone, Dave Schrader, Craig Grosvenor, Tom McGilton, Ed Enzer, and Nick Taylor. 8 names, 1 shot at glory. This elite shootout lights the fuse Friday, with qualifying gets wild on Saturday and crowns a winner Sunday. Right in front of the biggest, baddest crowd in drag racing. You'll even catch Taylor and Bailey a Nitro Alley stage Friday at 3:40 p.m., right before the pros go qualifying, and a Saturday meet and greet at 3 p.m., and I heard the John Force Racing team might be there. Oh, and here's the deal. This show, they are powered by Peak, the same brand that brings world-class coolants, motor oil, and performance products to your garage. Now bringing show-stopping horsepower to the drag strip. If your car doesn't run Peak, you're already behind. Throw in 4 rounds of 330-mile-an-hour NHRA qualifying, the Mission Too Fast, Too Tasty Challenge, Top Fuel Funny Car Pro Stock Motorcycle, and over 12,000 horsepower on top every few minutes. You've got one hell of a reason to be in Chicago, May 16th through the 18th. Buy your tickets now at nhra.com/tickets. Kids 12 and under are free with a paid adult and general admission. Trust me, this is the weekend to be at Route 66 Raceway. It's speed, it's smoke, it's street cars that shouldn't be this fast, and thank God it's all presented by Peak. We'll see you there. Oh, I love it. Who did I work for? Let's continue here. Let's see here. Let's fast forward just a little bit. My apologies here. Phil Burgess might be counting Top Fuel legends A to Z, but in North Wilkesboro, it's the guys behind the wall putting a championship caliber work on May 16th. The real all-star jackmen, tire changers, carriers, and fuelers take center stage. On Friday night, they'll take the lights and the tool on hand, $100,000 being on the line. No fuel stops, no distractions, just 4 tires, flawless timing, and furious execution. The Joe Gibbs Racing Squad, already 2-time defending champions, are back with Chris Bell and gunning for a three-peat. Think about this. A 13.223-second pit stop in 2024 helped win a pole. That's like hitting a grand slam while replacing your cleats. This isn't just about bragging rights. The fastest teams secure pole positions, better pit picks, and momentum heading into the All-Star heat races. And this year, every crew from both the Open and All-Star field gets a shot. It's NASCAR's version of a skills contest, except with socket wrenches instead of slap shots. Here's the bottom line. $100,000, pole for the All-Star, pride, pressure, and pit perfection. Wilkes County turns into Ridge Heaven, May 16th. Be there or watch someone else's crew grab the trophy. More in the comments here. Not Bland saying be there. I'm pretty sure he was talking about them Gerber Nationals, and I don't blame him. And then it also says, I will be there, from Dave W. And I'm pretty sure he also means he'll be at the Gerber Nationals, presented proudly by Peak. And I think that's somewhere I'd like to be myself as of right now. Not on old AJ's radar, but that's just fine because John Force Racing, Coletta Motorsport, Elite Motorsport, Alex Taylor and family, Peak, Gerber Nationals. It's going to be great. Check it out. And if you can't make it, go to NHRA TV or watch it on Fox family of networks. Can't beat it. NHRA is the greatest form and, of course, the fastest form of racing. All right, folks, that's going to do it for tonight here on Late Lap. The only show where the checkered flag waves, but the sarcasm just keeps lapping the field. We covered it all. We talked about Kyle Larson's Kansas Clinic, McLaren's Formula One Science Fair project, and a Hollywood movie where Brad Pitt races cars instead of dodging marriage proposals. Somewhere in the middle, NASCAR fans voted like it was the Daytona 500 prom, and Formula E proved you can save the planet and still take a corner at 130 miles an hour. If today taught us anything, it's this. Whether you're burning ethanol, hybrid juice, or just your boss's patience by watching racing and work motorsports on the company Wi-Fi, Be good to your engines, tip your hat to your pit crew, and remember, if someone tells you racing isn't a sport, ask them to change a tire in 12 fucking seconds. I'm AJ England. This has been The Late Lap. As I say at the end of every great show, be kind to yourself, be kind to others, smile, be happy, and until then, take care. And to our friends in the South, sea amable consigo mismo, sea amable con otros, sonría, sea feliz, hasta entonces, cuídese.